Hello, class. So today we will be covering chapter 6. Let's just get straight into it. First question is identify slash explain some of the key major barriers for the airline industry. Um, the first one that I thought of was obviously you're gonna need a lot of money to even buy an airplane or a type of jet or or any type of aircraft. So obviously that's probably going to be one of your biggest barriers, having the capital to even start off and even kind of you know step a foot into that industry. Um, the next one I thought of was kind of the competition. So obviously you already have competing airlines that are already well known, and that kind of ties into brand loyalty as well. So obviously there's probably a certain amount of people or a lot of people that actually prefer a brand already. Even personally myself, when I fly, I usually just go with American Airlines because of their military, benefits and stuff like that. So they do give discounts, and then you do get to board first as well. So I would say brand loyalty is the next one, and then just a personal example um, for that. The next one would probably just be it's kind of like a side one that I'd say, but it's kind of like the fuel prices. So obviously, where are you even gonna get your fuel to begin with? Who's gonna have like the better prices, and then obviously the fluctuation of fuel. So that's gonna be another one. And then kind of one that's also like a kind of side, like barrier. It's not as big. I would say it's gonna be like kind of getting your airline into the actual airport. So I know when planes like arrive and or they departure, they have certain gates that they're gonna connect to. So obviously, kind of the access to that, like I guess kind of what I'm trying to say is like having access to the actual gates. So if you're not a big airline and you don't have access to these gates, it might be harder as well. Especially if you're starting off, and how do they get access to the gates, I would say. Um, but yeah, those are the main ones that I come up with for that. The next question is what industries typically have few barriers to entry? For that one, I kind of just thought of, like more manual labor type of jobs. So like cleaning, painting, or like even construction or something like that. Um, I would say they're probably gonna have fewer barriers to that, just because you don't need like a high capital to begin with. Even like with cleaning or painting, like as long as you have the supplies and you kind of have the motivation for it, then I would say you could kind of, you know, you are gonna face challenges, but it's not gonna be as high challenges compared to the other industries. Or like even small profession or like small businesses. So like a food startup or something like that. As long as you have the supplies, then you could probably make a decent amount of money and not have as much barriers in your way. The next question is if you are currently in or previously have been in business, are there few or many barriers of entry to your industry? So previously I worked at GNC, and I would say for that one, there are many barriers, just because there's a lot of factors to consider. So obviously, brand loyalty is going to be another one. Certain people already have certain brands that they prefer for their pre-workout or protein or supplements. People just tend to stick. At least even personally, I do too. I tend to stick to a certain brand, and I usually don't, buy other products. So that's going to be one of the barriers. The next one is going to be the actual, like the effectiveness of your product. So if you have a product that isn't as good compared to another brand, obviously it's going to be another barrier. And then the actual regulations. So there's a lot of regulations when it comes to supplements. Obviously, because you're going to be selling a product, people are going to be taking, for the most part, daily. Um, and let's say you have a flaw in one of your products, you could put lives at risk. So obviously the regulations are going to be pretty strict on that, especially because you're talking about health supplements. So Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. Thank you for your time.